By the time of World War I, the Salvation Army had spread across the United States, bringing its ministry of soup, soap, and salvation to thousands in need, led by one of the country's first female commander-in-chiefs, Evangeline Booth.
When it was clear that the United States was going to be joining World War I, they talked about it and they said, you know, if we're going to be sending American boys over there, we need to go with them. We need to find a way to go with them.
The 12 hand-selected Salvationists arrived on the European shore within days of the first arrival of American soldiers. Among the women was Helen Purviance, a Huntington, Indiana native whose hard work and determination made her a perfect candidate for shipment overseas.
They set up huts, they set up tents, they served coffee and hot chocolate, and they prayed with soldiers and helped out where they could, giving news of home, just giving hope, because these young men were so homesick. And so having someone there on the front line with them who could act as a mother, who could act as a little bit of home, really meant a lot to these young boys.
And the Salvationists really were on the front lines, often closer to the action than many of the commanders.
General Pershing was uncomfortable with the idea of women being so close to the action. He didn't want them on the front lines because he didn't want to be responsible for them. And the response from the Salvation Army and from the women who went over were, you're not responsible for us, we're responsible for ourselves. We chose to do this. And so they did. They followed along with the soldiers. They followed the ammunition trains. They were right there with them. And they got muddy and dirty and cold. And Helen came back and told stories about how she would wake up in the morning completely covered in frost. She had 19 different spots just on her feet that had turned black from frostbite. But it was worth it for them. It really was, because it meant that they could be there, especially when these boys would come back from battle. And they were boys. They were very young. When they would come back, these Salvationists would be standing there waiting for them, and they would literally divide the soldiers up into two lines, the ones who would survive and the ones who would not. And they would go with the ones who would not. They would guide them over, make sure that their eyes were washed, hold their hands, and stay with them for their last moments.
By October of 1917, edible luxuries were completely gone. Helen and fellow Salvationist Margaret Sheldon knew they needed to come up with something to boost the spirits of the despondent soldiers.
They were trying to figure out what kind of a goodie they could make that would give these young boys some hope. And she and Margaret looked at the supplies that they had. They said, okay, we have sugar, we have lard, we have flour. What can we do with this? And they thought, donuts. We can make donuts. These are the perfect ingredients for donuts. And so the first night that they cooked, they were only able to make about 150 of them. And the word spread. And it went from one camp to the next, and all of a sudden they had literally thousands of American soldiers going, we want donuts too.
The women quickly devised a way to mass produce their donuts on the battlefield, training other Salvationists and repurposing available tools. Wine bottles became makeshift rolling pins. Empty condensed milk cans and shaving cream tubes provided the true donut shape. By the year's end, the Salvationists could make up to 9,000 fresh donuts every single day for their grateful American soldiers.
And so they were so excited that it was the highlight of their letter back home. And the newspapers back home started to pick up on it, that all of these men are talking about donut girls. Who are these donut girls?
As the word spread, donations to the Salvation Army skyrocketed, as did the popularity of donuts themselves. By war's end, over 250 Salvationists would serve overseas, but none were more famous than the donut girl herself, Indiana's own Helen Purviance.
The story of the donut girls continued along with Helen and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And you may be familiar with something called Doughnut Day. That started back in 1938 in Chicago by the Salvation Army. It was such a huge success that Doughnut Day was actually declared a national holiday. It's celebrated every year. So it's amazing that 100 years later, this story is still being told. It's still being shared. I think the legacy that Helen and all of the other Doughnut girls left behind is this legacy of hope. That even in dark times, even in really painful times, there's always that ray of hope, and sometimes it looks like a donut.